Welcome to Anti-Woke and Autistic. When it comes to this fat acceptance cult, I thought that I had heard everything, but did you know that inanimate objects can also be fatphobic? Yes, inanimate objects. This is what Classy Fatty Babe, that's her name, has to say.
Trigger warning, this video is going to include mention of calories, nutrition, and a brief reference to eating disorder behaviors, but this is all recovery focused. There will be no food judgments. This comment was left in a response to a video where I implied that calories on menus are fatphobic.
Okay, so first of all, calories that are on menus are fat phobic. Yes, who knew that a number on a piece of paper or cardboard with plastic over it could actually be fat phobic? Yes, underneath that price of $18.95 or wherever they put the number for the calories, it's fat phobic. So if the calories are 1400, that number 1400 is fat phobic. If the calories are 500 or 450 or 1250 or 350, those numbers are fat phobic. Numbers are fat phobic. Did you know that? Wow, we learn something new every day.
And I've been getting a lot of these comments about how calories are there to help you make smarter choices for your health. I was referring specifically to
Calories do enable people to make smarter choices for their health. What is with these fat acceptance cult members claiming that calorie listings at menus at restaurants and various other eateries are fatphobic? This person here isn't the only one who feels this way. For many people, the listings of calories triggers them, it upsets them, it offends them. And instead of realizing what the real problem is, something going on inside their head, they blame this all on this toxic diet culture. No, the problem is these people are in a very poor state of mental health. For many people, calorie listings are extremely helpful. First of all, some people like to track calories. It's the way their mind works. They like to keep track of numbers, things like that. So it's the way their mind works. And for them, it's a great way to help monitor their caloric intake. Secondly, some people really do need to monitor their caloric intake. What if they have some kind of medical condition that causes them to gain weight easily? What if they were born with poor muscle tone? What if they have a genetic condition that causes slow metabolism? What if they have a medical condition or they're on a medication that slows down metabolism and causes weight gain? They need to track their calories. They need to pay attention to what goes in their mouth. And if they don't count calories and track calories, it could get out of hand. They could be over consuming, and before they know it, they've gained weight. And what about people who are just plain fat because they overeat? Doesn't matter what the cause is, they just need to eat less, and keeping track of calories helps them do that. I mean, who's this person to say that calories are fatphobic? That is absolutely nuts.
Red Robin, so I'm going to use that as an example to try and debunk this myth. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a registered dietitian. This is just stuff that I learned in required nutrition groups to help us learn how to balance our nutritional needs. So let's get into it. Let's look at the nutritional information they do offer. On their website, it looks like additional nutrition information is available upon request. So if you're trying to decide ahead of time if Red Robin will meet your needs, or if you're ordering online, you're kind of screwed. I've also never tried to ask for the nutrition information in their store, so I don't know if they have it readily available there either. So the only readily available nutrition information about their food are the calories. I'm going to use one of their low-calorie meals as an example. This is a popular low-calorie choice. It's called the Veggie Burger. As you can see, it's a burger with lettuce, tomato, onion, and bacon, and it comes with a bottomless salad. Somebody might look at this, and because of the myths that diet culture perpetuates about health, they might see low calories, low carbs, and think it's a good option.
Why wouldn't it be a good option? It's preferable to a double cheeseburger with a bun that's made of white flour I mean, what's she trying to, what's her point? I'm not saying it's the healthiest meal in the world, but it sure beats the traditional, typical fare of a restaurant like Red Robin. Instead of having a heaping pile of fries fried in vegetable oil with your burger, you have a tossed green salad. Instead of a bun made of white flour, a highly processed bread product, you're having lettuce. It's a much healthier option.
I'm not trying to say it's a bad option. I'm saying for a lot of people, this might be misleading.
How's it misleading? You get what you see what you get. Lettuce, you've got a burger in there, you don't have a bunch of cheese. You have a tomato in there, and you have what looks like guacamole. Avocados are very good for you. They contain the so-called good type of fat. You have a tossed salad there, so you get some vegetables in there. What's misleading about it? The only thing that would be misleading is if Red Robin said that that burger was a turkey burger and it was actually a ground beef burger, or they said it was a tofu burger and it was actually a ground beef burger. What's misleading about it?
The lettuce on the actual burger is iceberg lettuce, and in the salad, it's romaine. So, carbohydrates are the body's chosen source of energy, and they help keep us full. Fiber is a kind of carbohydrate, and somebody looking at that meal might think, oh, wow, lots of veggies, so there's got to be fiber. When actually,
You have to be really ignorant to think that a tossed salad, a beef patty, a tomato, and lettuce are all high in fiber. You have to be pretty ignorant. People who are health conscious almost always know what foods are high in fiber and what foods are low in fiber. People who have no clue, no idea, probably aren't very health conscious to begin with. So I don't know where she's getting her ideas from. Who goes to Red Robin to get a bunch of fiber in their food, anyways? Now, doctors usually say you should get at least 20 grams of fiber, ideally 25 to 30 grams of fiber every day. Most people, I would say the vast majority of people, aren't going to be thinking in terms of high fiber meals when they go to an eatery such as Red Robin. When you go to Red Robin, that's not what you're thinking. You're not thinking of health food. You're thinking of traditional, conventional types of meals that are high in fat and calories, and sinful types of meals where you get to indulge and really eat up. Who thinks of fiber? If you want to get 25 grams or so of fiber every day and you plan on going to Red Robin, you're probably going to try to get the vast majority of that fiber in whatever food you have in the house. Like, for instance, lentils, some fruits are pretty high in fiber, a bran muffin, some cereals are high in fiber. It's something that you're going to get at home. And then when you go to Red Robin, again, who goes there thinking, well, I'm going to get a lot of fiber in my meal at Red Robin? This woman is
all of the
definitely
veggies there
off
are
her
fairly low
rocker.
in fiber. There are tomatoes there, but there's not enough there to meet your fiber requirements.
Why is she focusing so much on fiber, anyways? Fiber? Fiber is very important. It's definitely very important. It's good for the heart. There are studies that show that a high fiber diet is associated with a lower chance of getting some cancers. But again, who goes to, but again, who thinks of getting a lot of fiber when they go to Red Robin?
So, what might happen is you might feel full at first, but binge later. It looks like there's lots of good protein and fat in terms.
So, what's she recommending? To avoid binging later, you should get a burger like this with a heaping pile of fries. This, by the way, is a Red Robin burger. Looks delicious, doesn't it? And it'll definitely fill you up, and so will the fries. What does she recommend? That you also get a big brownie with ice cream or one of those big chocolate chip cookies or whatever they have for dessert over there? In a big cute in a milkshake, all to prevent binging later on. Guess what? The meal I just described is a binge. Is she recommending that you don't get a healthier option to prevent binging later?
The bacon. But here's another reason why this is misleading. Somebody with heart issues
She's coming up with these excuses not to eat a meal like this. It's not high in fiber. It might lead to binge later.
might be thinking like, oh, I need to avoid food with fats and carbs. But what they don't realize is depending on what kind of salad dressing they choose, they might be ingesting a lot more sodium. Sodium is not inherently a bad thing, but if you're trying to manage a chronic illness, it can be. Same with sugars in salad dressing. Again, not a bad thing, but if you're a diabetic, it can be a problem.
Okay, so I've had family members who were diagnosed with chronic heart failure. Their doctors told them you should keep your daily sodium intake down to 1500. Some recommendations allow you up to 2000 milligrams a day, but in general, like 1500, try not to go above 1500 milligrams, give or take, of sodium a day. You could easily work in 2 tablespoons of high sodium salad dressing into a daily maximum of 1500 milligrams of sodium a day. Now, I don't know exactly how many milligrams of sodium a tablespoon of typical regular salad dressing is. It's probably around 50 or 70 milligrams. So if you have 2 tablespoons of salad dressing on your salad, that's maybe 100 to 150 milligrams of sodium. You can easily work that in to a 1500 milligram limit. She's acting like a few tablespoons of salad dressing is like 800 milligrams of sodium. Talk about misleading.
You might also be somebody trying to lose weight using the keto diet, which has been proven to be harmful for adults in the long run. However, this meal would be really good for a child who has chronic seizures. The keto diet was developed for kids with seizures. So what I'm saying is there's so much more that goes into food and nutrition than just calories. So if this is really about health, wouldn't all the nutritional information be readily available for every restaurant that has calories on its menu? Do they actually care about health? Or do you just care about being thin? Which, by the way, does not always mean health.
Her conclusion goes off a tangent somewhat, and it's extremely incomplete. She says, thin doesn't always mean health. That's true in that there are thin people out there with heart failure, there's thin people out there with all sorts of medical problems. So, yes, thin doesn't always mean health, but thin doesn't always mean good health. But obesity always means bad health. Okay? Thin doesn't always mean good health, but that doesn't mean you could be obese and healthy. They twist things, they warp things, they have a warped sense of logic. Obesity is unhealthy, especially morbid obesity, 100% of the time. There is nothing fatphobic about calorie listings on menus. They're very helpful to many people, and if calorie listings trigger you, you have a problem with your mental health and you need to get that remedied. Tracking calories helps many people keep their weight in check. It's like keeping track of finances. It's like counting your pennies, counting your nickels and dimes and quarters, just making sure you don't overspend your money. It's the same principle. People make sure they don't overeat as far as calories. That's called management. It's called strategy. It's called tactics. There's nothing obsessive. Well, it could become obsessive just like any type of management can. If you manage your money, that could become obsessive. If you manage your household finances, that could be done in an obsessive way. House cleaning, if you always like to have a clean spick and span house, that could be done in an obsessive way. There are people who are obsessive about keeping everything clean and neat and tidy. Anything can be done to an extreme, but that's no excuse for labeling everything fatphobic. It's okay to track calories. There are apps that help you do that. Restaurants are trying to be more amenable to their customers by listing calories. There is nothing fat phobic about calories, and there's nothing fat phobic or misleading about that meal, the veggie burger. You get what you see what you get. What's she talking about? If anything's misleading, it's this individual here who invents these oddball approaches to ordering food. The bottom line is if you go to Red Robin, and they have delicious food, by the way, hey, if you want to see how many calories you're ingesting, go ahead, look at it. If you don't want to see the calories, don't look at the calories. It's that simple. Anyways, that's all for now, and have a good day.